The Houston Rockets finally got their offensive alpha, giving up Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the number 10 pick in the draft, and 5 second-round picks. You get off of Jalen Green and having to extend his contract. He needs a lot of work in his game to reach the status of a competent all-star type player. He does showcase some potential as a shot creator, but the consistency and the little things, it's not in his game. It's not there yet for a Houston Rockets team that's just growing and growing and growing and getting better. Green just needs to have a team to his own, a rebuilding team, so he can retool some of his skills and build from there. He's not a lost cause yet. And then you gave up some defense in Dillon Brooks and some picks. The Rockets still maintain their core talent with Amen, Eason, Sengun, Smith, Adams, while also you can develop Reed Shepard on a low. This is a team where in that Warriors series, it was very clear they needed an alpha player, a main number one creator. You secure that with Kevin Durant, basically, an instant offensive creator while maintaining your key defensive players. Kevin Durant at 36 years old is still a massive upgrade over Green and Brooks. You know KD, his game is timeless. Very efficient mid-range player, still elite handle at his age to create his own shots. High level 3-point shooter, growth as a post scorer and face-up shooter, utilizing that Dirk fadeaway in his game, turnaround jumpers, elite with that pivot and creating space for himself, the use of hang dribbles and hesitations. We've seen his game all throughout the years. Very efficient isolation scorer from the low post, the elbows, the high post, who can also dabble in some ball screen reps, torch and drop coverage defenses with his pull-up jumper or snaking screens to get into that jumper. You can also run him off flare screens or pin downs and cross screens to come up and get into that jumper and rhythm. Still one of the greatest off-ball scorers in the league. And Durant's three-point frequency has rose to 30%, marking it the highest amount of threes he has since his days in Golden State, and he is knocking down these shots at a 43% clip. He is a 45% three-point shooter off the catch, but he shot a poor 32% off the dribble. This is an area where he is low frequency in with off the dribble three-pointers, and he prefers threes more so off the catch where he's more in rhythm. He shoots a lot of his attempts above the break, but overall, an efficient shooter from the corners and wings also. He destroys closeouts with ease. If the defense is rotating and he gets the ball, all it takes is just one dribble pull-up or he is going all the way to the rim to finish inside. Despite his very, very low frequency as a rim scorer, which I'll touch on in a bit, he still shoots a very, very efficient 79% at the rim. Those opportunities mostly coming off of cuts, transition drives, closeout attacks nowadays. And Durant's biggest offensive superpower has to be the way he is able to size up defenders one-on-one, utilizing the triple threat, and really just only needing 3 dribbles to get to a spot and score. His stability, fluid handle, and willingness to get into a defender's body makes him a tough cover to go up against and a consistent threat to get to his spots. No defender is ballering that Kevin Durant jump shot at that height and length. He is getting it off no matter what you do or what you throw at him. And playing with a young team like the Rockets who can generate stops and go, Durant is a very good transition player where he can burn closeout or backpedaling defenses off the dribble going to the rim, and he is a threat to spot up in transition. So he's going to give the Rockets another option to help strengthen more of that transition attack. And playing alongside Sengun as a handoff hub and sneaky good roller to the basket will help generate easier buckets for Kevin Durant. Thompson also being a sharp cutter to benefit playing next to KD, who's going to draw a lot of attention with the ball in his hands. Now we know his game, but there are downsides to the age in Durant. He isn't much of a rim presence, as mentioned before. Oftentimes he's going for that mid-range shot or trying to get within the paint to score. Kevin Durant operates at a 13% frequency at the rim. 13%. His free throw numbers, his free throw attempts dipped over the years. He's not isolating to get to the rim, but more so his spots along the mid-range, so he's not really much of a rim pressure guy at this stage of his career. Kevin Durant is a solid playmaker, can make solid reads and accurate passes. He does struggle making advanced reads and passes. When defenses really load up on him or give him heavy pressure, he isn't too sharp in making reads to consistently make the defenses pay, and at times he can hold the ball too long or dribble into traffic, exposing the ball and giving up turnovers. He is averaging 3.1 turnovers a game while averaging 4.2 assists. That's not a great ratio of those numbers. Kevin Durant has played with teams with poor shooting before, that Oklahoma City team, and I think the Rockets may let him down in that aspect in providing more shooters around him. The Rockets don't have much high-level shooters. Their best shooter statistically, ironically, being Dillon Brooks, who they gave up. I think competent defensive teams are really going to show a ton of gap pressure on KD in high-level situations, forcing him to be a playmaker and allowing the other Rockets to beat him. So it's going to be a lot of reliance on Thompson or Jabari Smith to consistently make defenses pay with their shots. With Kevin Durant's slim frame and height, it's tough to dribble through traffic and still keep the ball alive. Oftentimes, defenders can just slide over and poke the ball loose against an unsuspecting KD. And it's going to be interesting on how the Rockets combat that and try to have KD operate with the spacing. With how bad the Suns were, they did a good job in trying to maximize spacing as much as possible for KD with their shooters. They dove into lineups where everyone on the floor was capable of shooting the three ball or clearing the wings to take away immediate gap help against KD, and allowing KD to just isolate and score and get his shots up. Now, defensively, KD's production has been here and there, and it's not entirely all his fault. He was one of the Suns' best defenders, but if KD is your best defender, you're not really going to be a top-tier defense. He was still solid at the point of attack, can still move his feet, still agile, uses his length to impact shots. The consistency in his off-ball defense was really underwhelming. That part of his game tanked. He would have moments of missing rotations or slow to recover on rotations, getting beat backdoor for cuts, dying on ball screens. The effort and willingness just wasn't consistent off ball. Also, there were moments where he just doesn't box out and gives up rebounds. The off-ball defense was an area of his game that was great in his Warriors and Nets tenure, but last year it just wasn't his best effort all around, and you can attribute that also to the Suns defense, which was just a flat-out embarrassing defensive squad. So I don't even think if KD really channeled in on defense last season, it wouldn't really move the needle. It was an all-around mess from the Suns. Lack of effort, instincts, or willingness all around for that team. So I can't really judge KD too harshly given his age and the team he was surrounded with the defensive talent that they had. I think the Rockets can get more out of him on the defensive end. KD thrives the most out of playing with other great defenders around him, and the Rockets already have that established. And he already played under Udoka, so that familiarity is there. KD can definitely be a serviceable defender at his best when he is engaged. Getting KD overall is a massive swing because ideally you needed Jalen Green to develop into that alpha, which just didn't happen. It's okay, it happens. But this is why you make these moves to get an actual alpha. KD is already established. He's already going to generate a ton of defensive attention. You just hope the other guys capitalize off of him. KD can also still be a solid defender and should be motivated more playing next to great defensive talent. This is a massive win for the Rockets. The Suns are a laughingstock right now. I really don't want to talk about them. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video and my breakdown of the KD to the Rockets trade, give it a like, comment your thoughts on the trade, and subscribe to the channel for more NBA breakdowns like these. For that being said, y'all, I'll see you all in the next video.